Hey there, it's your host Dan once again. We're up to part 9 of the C4 front end repair that I'm doing myself, DIY. And where I left off last time, these parts were all dirty. I spent maybe about an hour or so getting these all cleaned up, getting all the grime off. The front nose, the side marker lights were a little bit different because this is an 89 nose. So the guy who I got them from was nice enough to swap me for the correct lights. So I've got the correct lights here that have that proper plug in the back for my side marker light to plug into. Today I'm going to be polishing up the fog lamps and the side marker lights. They're not that bad, but they're not as brilliant as they could be, so I'm going to get those prepped and ready. Since I had that 3M headlight kit that I used on my headlight video to polish up that nasty set of headlights, I still have the pad and a lot of the compound left over. I'm going to do the same thing to all 4 of these lights, followed by some of the McGuire's show car glaze. I'll lock it in with the Jescar, then maybe put a little quick wax layer over the top. This way I'll have these all freshened up, ready for reassembly. No cleanup, no fuss, no muss, just put them in. And I only want to spend about an hour, hopefully, on all 4 of these. So it should go pretty quick. They're not that bad. I just want to give them just a little polish, make them look a little brighter, a little shinier. Like this one, for instance, here I think is a little duller than the one on top. The amber is a little faded too. So I'm going to do this one first with the polish. I want to see how much of a difference it'll make. So let's get started on that. Let's get out our dirty pillow once again. A crazy dirty pillow, and this should still be fresh. There still be enough of this wax in here that I could reuse this. A couple dots is really all you need. You don't need a lot. It's a pretty small piece. That's probably more than enough what I put out there already. I'm gonna plop our marker light down on our dirty pillow here. Glasses on just in case anything wants to flick in our eye while we're doing this. Always wear glasses. And let's take a look here. Ooh, there's one tiny little scratch. I don't think that's going to be worth sanding it. Okay. Get a little more of this stuff on the pad. And I really got to hold on to this piece because it'll want to fly. It'll want to fly out of my hand. Okay, let's grab a clean rag and see how we did. Okay, I think this light is pretty darn good. There's only one teeny weeny scratch, not even an 1/8 of an inch long right here, and one pin dot right here. To me, that's not worth going over this and wet sanding this down. This is fine. Let's compare it once again to the other light as far as brilliance. It's not bad. Perhaps maybe a little clearer. I don't know. You have to tell me what you think. Almost made them kind of about the same now. I think this one here looked a little dull before to start with. Okay, so that was pretty easy. This one here, I can see there's almost nothing wrong with it, but I'll just hit it with the compound real fast. I think that one shines a little more, I gotta say. It sure does. Okay, that was just 2 minutes polishing with this. And already you can see just from the side lights, the dirt, some of the dirt's coming off on the pad. It's pulling off. Probably some of the embedded contaminants on it. I'm gonna do this light now, one of the fog lights. Just like the other lights, the very first thing you want to do is assess, you know, do I need to sand this? Are there any deep scratches or gouges? There's one tiny one here, but other than that, this one looks great. I mean, I think the polish will be good enough for this, so that's what I'm going to do, is just polish this one up. And same thing with the other one. Okay, got some more product there on the pad. Let's get going with this light. See how it turns out. Let's get this wiped down. And now the fog lights are always going to be continually hit by rocks and everything, so there are some pits on here. You know, it's, I could, you know, if it had to be perfect, then you know what I mean, yeah, I suppose it should be wet sanded down, but there's no haze on them. I'm just trying to give them that polish shine pop to them. You know, some of the chips I would have to sand pretty heavy, and I don't really want to do that. These are kind of buried in the nose where you don't really see them. Like these little chips in the plastic, you can only see them because I've got the light out of the car, but when they're way down like this, you're never going to notice that. So, and I promised myself I only want to spend 1 hour on all 4 of these bulbs or lenses, getting them, you know, ready for a reinstallation. That's it. Okay, so let's put that next to the other one, and you know, tell me what you think. Like right there, it looks like just the polish alone on this made this a lot clearer. This looks just a little cloudy. Feels a lot smoother too. So I'm going to repeat the procedure on this one. Let's see if we can get this one to look like that one. Okay, let's wipe this one down. See how well we did. And as I'm doing that, some of those, the little small, very small chips, probably rock chips, I can see as I go over them and make just a couple passes, I can see like a pin dot, and then I can just see it disappear. So I don't want to take this too far down, which is also kind of why I don't want to wet sand it. This one I could probably stand to polish a second time. It's got a lot of little rock chips, but they're really small. I mean, it's only as I'm getting my face up here looking at them, I can see it probably might require a little bit of sanding, but once again, when the light's down like this, you never ever are going to see them. Okay, hopefully that should do it. 3 times the charm. And then I'll just go with this. Yeah, if I wanted to try to get out every little rock chip in this, it would probably drive me crazy. Okay, so let's put these two together and let's see. This is the bottom one, this is the top one. Yeah, I'd have to say they're about the same. About the same now. It shined it up just, you know, just a little bit. Whatever. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do some show car glaze as my second step on the same pad because I don't have another pad, which I should have bought one by now. Whatever. Okay. Let's do that. Hit all four with the show car glaze. Okay, that's fine. Oh, it's not on there too. I don't want to get these. I want to clean it. Okay. That's fine. Okay, this one. Nice. Okay. See how we're doing on time. I've been at this for about 45 minutes. And we're getting close to being done. Just those last 2 steps and that's gonna be it. Huh. This one's shining pretty good. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much done with our pad. Definitely used all the compound out of that headlight kit, and yeah, see the pad, see how much kind of dirt, whatnot got sucked off of there, so I'll clean that out. Next up is going to be power lock. I'm gonna put some of that on. Probably way too much. Way too much. Wow. Yeah. Just similar to waxing. All I'm trying to do is like a paint sealant. Just want to lock everything in. Okay, that's all 4 of them polished up with Jescar. I'm gonna let that sit for 30 minutes. We'll come back and wipe that off, and then I'll put a little topper of wax on it. While I'm waiting for the Jescar to settle down on the lights there, I'm gonna redo the trim. And I've got this, I've had this for a while, this Forever Black bumper and trim. Comes with a cleaner, which I cleaned off all 3 pieces. evidenced by some of the dirt there on the rag, but it's pretty easy once it's all cleaned up. It's kind of like shoe polish, and you just put it on like so. I'll do this once now, and I'll do this probably once before I put it on the car. Then I'll make the trim look all nice and black. This is a lot easier too to do this while this is off the car than to try to do this on the car. So yeah, stuff obviously gets all over your hands, so be prepared to have a rag ready. Do the other little piece here. Pretty simple. Just paint it on. And it does make a difference when it dries. It makes it really nice and black. So next up, I'll do the big part that goes around the nose. Once again, should have been wearing gloves. This black stuff. But whatever. Okay, now that I'm done with that, I'll get back to the lights. The adjust car's probably sat on there for half hour now. I'm just going to come back in and buff it on off. Wow, it's sliding right off of this like a skating rink. Yeah, this is looking nice. Alright, let's get all the adjust car off the remaining three. Just like I did on my headlights, I'm going to do just a little bit of wax on top of the sealer, just to maybe, you know, give it a little bit of extra. That's a lot for this light, just need very little. A little extra protection on top of the adjust car, the sealer. I mean, you don't have to use the products that I used. There's no real magical combination. As long as you're using, you know, a compound, then a polish, then, you know, like some kind of sealer, then maybe, you know, wax topper on top of that, like I'm doing here. So I'm just going to give everything a nice little coat of wax. You know, hopefully everything will stay nice and shiny a lot longer. The wax should be done. Let's see how we did. Just got to kind of give them a final buff here to get the wax off, give them their final brilliance. This is about as best as, or at least I'm going to do them. And I hit my goal, working on all four lights for only 1 hour, which is about 15 minutes per light. And, you know, I two-stepped them, plus the extra 2 steps of a sealer and a wax. So, almost like a 4-step. This will probably continually be hit by rocks, so I'm not going all overboard with this, because I know if I do, I will be sanding this light forever. So, okay. Let's get all our wax off. That's about 1 hour of my time, 15 minutes on each light roughly. Get them cleaned up about as best I can. Definitely a lot clearer on these lights, pretty much at any angle. And it's a lot easier to do this when it's off the car too, because there's the edge here, and if you start getting wax or some kind of product in between that and the edge of the car bumper or whatever, it's really hard to get out. So I'm glad I took the time to take care of these. And here's how that Forever Black turned out on the trim. I mean, that looks really nice. I'll do it one more time on this piece, and also the other side, and that big piece across front. Let's see, here's the other piece of trim. I almost can miss it because it's so black now. It doesn't have like a white kind of faded hazy look to it. Let's go over and take a look at that on the bumper. It almost looks like a brand new piece. So that's going to be ready to go. And I think that's about it. That's what I got accomplished this weekend. All these lights cleaned up over here. A lot more parts cleaned up. The belt molding all cleaned up. Just want to say I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. We got more coming in this series, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.